Yeah, I think I think there are two things I really like. One of them is the first time you see the character moving. You know, you have a model, and it's still, I've been doing this for a long time, it's still magical for me. You know, you see, oh, you know, suddenly you can pose the character, you go in and oh, you can do a pose, you can actually move it. And it's still that little magic moment. Oh, cool. Now it has a little life. Before it was that model. And for me specifically, what I really like to do is rig faces. You know, that's the facial rigging, you know, and the making the face work for me is a little bit, you know, that's the part I prefer to work on. It's kind of a little bit of an accident, because I have a degree in quantum electronics and applied optics, which is lasers and semiconductor stuff, and holography and all that fun stuff. And I'm from Brazil. I did my master's at UCLA, and I went back to Brazil, and I was looking for a job. And the jobs in Brazil in that area were either teaching, which I didn't want to do in that area, or at the time working for the military, which I wouldn't do. And so I went visiting a television station in Brazil because a friend had an internship there, and there was a little room that they had 16 color paint system. That's 1981. And I looked at that and I was like fascinated. And I used to do Super 8 animation at home, you know, just for fun. And I was talking to the boss of that department, and he just turned to me and said, "Do you want to work here?" I said, "Yes." That's how I started in computer animation. Absolutely by chance. I just looked at it and I said, "This is really cool." So I started doing little graphics with 16 colors and no anti-aliasing, nothing. It was all, but little graphics to insert on, you know, the news, little things, little animations when you cycle the colors. So you have, I remember that at the time there was a volcano somewhere in South America, and I could do the little cycle colors of the spewing of the lava, that kind of things. And that same guy that hired me, he went to SIGGRAPH that next year, and he met three guys called Glenn Entis, Carl Rosendahl, and Richard Twang, that they had still images, and he liked it very much. So he came back, and TV Globo actually sort of gave money to PDI to create animation software, and that Global would use. So, you know, I've known Glenn and those guys for a long time now. And I part of that deal, I came to PDI at 1983 and 84, and I stayed there for a while working on jobs for TV Global and other jobs that PDI was doing just to learn the system. And then we went back to Brazil. We took a version of the software with us. And I've worked there in Global for a long time after that. And then in 97, I heard that PDI was going to do a feature movie. And I said, by then, of course, I was really tired of logos and, you know, TV openings, because I was working on TV and we did commercials. It was basically commercials and all that stuff. And then I said, a feature movie, characters, that's really what I want to do. So I came over and I started working at PDI. And so we worked on Ants, then we started Shrek, and that's when DreamWorks acquired PDI. And I've been there since then. Well, I think the mountains to climb is like almost every single movie we start, there are challenges. You know, the one thing that at DreamWorks we do many movies in many different styles. So I've worked on the first three of the Shrek movies. Then I worked on Megamind. Now we're starting Peabody and Sherman, which is way more cartoony. So we have, you know, different styles. So the moment we go to a movie that is like different, the animation style is different. That means our rigs have to be different. They have to accomplish different things. So there's always these, and I think that that discovery part of what is different, what do we have to do in order to accomplish, is like a little mountain every time. You know, we have to get there. We have to, okay, figure this out, know what to do, find out all the, you know, figure ahead, okay, we don't know the whole story, we don't know everything, but, you know, you have an idea of the story, and you have to, again, extrapolate, be paranoid, and try to imagine anything that could happen with those characters in order to put it in the rig so that we can achieve what we can do. So it's more little mountains than one in a way of the future. I think View Conference is one of the most, you know, embracing conferences, especially for the people who are coming here to present. There's absolutely, we treated so nicely. Everybody is so, it's really nice to have this community of people coming together, and you talk to all the people. And I was just outside talking to one girl that she watched my presentation, and she comes and she was asking what she wanted to do and what I would, you know, there's this, it's small enough that you can have this contact, close contact with the people who are there. And I think this is, it's a little bit important to have this smaller community getting together and talking about things. And I think it's a very nice conference. And I've known people who actually works now at DreamWorks who were here in the conference. I met them here, you know. So it's an interesting thing to see that people grow.